On this episode of Between Two Barns, we discuss team players, fights on a plane, and why footballs aren't even balls. Join Charlie Rizzle and what was that?
Yeah, I forgot what I called it. Now I remember. I called it footballs aren't even balls. Because at the point this weekend that I got frustrated, I totally forgot that I was like, football's dumb. It's not even round. It's not even a ball. I'm not even going to talk about football anymore because this weekend was so frustrating. But then the actual round ball rolled our way. So it played off better than I thought it would. So we got I've got a few things lined up video wise, a couple of things that Hugh said on the press conference, and then one thing in particular that my normal thing, I just have questions. Hopefully somebody understands or has the same question I do. And then we've got the fight on the plane, the game at Houston, and then maybe even what led up to the fight on the plane, which everybody's already talked about, but I still think it's worth looking at. So I just want to play this one thing to start, and let's start with football. Let's start with Hugh Freeze first, and then we'll talk about Larry the Dr. Pepper guy and Joey Freshwater after that one. So this is what he said this today, and I just made it into a text video so that it flows a little better. But this may not be weird. I don't know. But to me, it sounds like I'll say what it sounds like after I play it.
Yeah, it's a combination. Obviously the game plan is done by all of us sitting in a room as to what we like on base downs and shot plays and third down and red zone. And so it's usually a mixture. Kent handles most of the third and longs. And Nix and I kind of combine on the rest of it, truthfully. And
so that was him talking. They asked him, who's calling the plays? And his answer was that it depends on what down it is. And it sounds almost like couch co-op PlayStation where they're handing the controller across to the guy beside you to call the next play. That may be normal. I've never heard anybody say it, but that didn't make me feel any better about the way it's gone this year. Does that sound strange to anybody else?
It kind of explains a lot of things to me. It explains not having any flow. It explains not having any unity, I guess you could say. I was taken aback when he said that. I've never heard of having 3 play callers depending on what down it is. I mean, that's most offensive coaches. If they're the play caller, you ride and die with that guy. Just, hey, it's third down. Kent, what you got? Hey, it's second down. What do you think? That's crazy.
Yeah. It may explain some of the looking toward the sideline for 30 seconds too. Are they having full on call up, down, everybody take a vote? I don't know. What were you saying, Rizzle?
I agree. There's no consistency in that, and you're definitely not going to have a rhythm. Harder to get into a rhythm with that kind of play calling. I mean, it's just weird, man. I don't know.
That's what I was saying.
It explains a lot, though. Like Charlie said, I think it explains just the lack of everybody being on the same page.
Play calling's about rhythm. You see it all the time where a coach gets in a groove and he just starts clicking with what the offense is doing, and it's all about the rhythm. And I mean, I think we all play NCAA. It's the same thing, and we're amateurs. We don't know what we're doing. But you can get in that game and start clicking and finding plays that work and stuff. And if you got 3 guys calling plays, there's no rhythm.
Yeah. I thought it was weird. And it's like you were saying, he could have just been like it's basketball season and rolled past the whole press conference. And then he also brought up that Peyton hadn't practiced all week due to injury.
I saw he was hurt in the Vandy game. I mean, he was messing with that shoulder a lot.
Well, he underthrew that one ball to Cam Coleman, way underthrew that. He just didn't have the strength to get it out there to him.
But they said they offered to take him out, and he said, no, I'm fine. So, I mean, what do you do?
Force him out.
Well, as the coach and
was
boss.
accurate.
Well, yeah, but if you weren't going to take him out when he sucked, you're not going to take him out because he's hurt when he says he's fine.
Yeah.
You just add on top of that, like, oh, Jarquez looked gassed. Like, if your quarterback is hurt, run the ball, man.
That's kind of where I was going, is that this press conference just sounded more like
an excuse.
Yeah, almost like I don't know what's going on. Like it didn't make me feel comfortable. Not that I have to feel comfortable, but it just feels like I don't know. We're just throw me some questions, I'll give you an answer. But like I don't even like this is just the skeptic in me. I'm not being negative, but the skeptic in me is like, is Peyton hurt, or are you just setting that up so that when Hank comes in, you're still saving face? I mean, that's just where I am right now because the answers are so strange at this point to everything.
I think Peyton's really hurt. I mean, like I said, it didn't change anything in the Vandy game as far as play calling like it probably should have, but he was definitely favoring that shoulder a lot. But y'all remember last year he said that he was excited to get back involved in the offense because he was too busy recruiting last year.
Yeah.
And now that he's involved in the offense, he's calling a third of the plays basically.
Yeah.
With two other people. Like,
and he's already made the comment this year that it's hard to recruit and develop QBs and do the game plan.
I mean, he has a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they're all calling plays.
They're his guys, though. I mean, those are the people that he went and took Derek Nix from Ole Miss. Kent Austin's followed him basically everywhere he's ever been. Like, these people have been together for off and on for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't feel too good with that. I saw a lot of people react to it. Again, like I said, I'm a casual fan, really, but that didn't make me feel real good about anything. And then he did say we need to make sure we compete these last 3 games to ensure that our recruits and everybody sees that we're moving in the right direction, which that I just hoped it. I don't know. That made me worry when he said that.
We lost the DB today to Ole Miss, and Deuce was in Oxford.
Yeah, so the DB, he's like 6th on the list of even the new ones. So he wasn't the biggest because I looked into that too. I didn't know Deuce was in Oxford.
Yeah, Deuce was in Oxford.
Yeah, he was on the field.
Yeah. But that DB thing, yeah, that wasn't a big deal because supposedly there's another DB committing.
I was going to say they have us trending for somebody else, a big name.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but
that's the first time he's been like, we need to make sure we look good these 3 weeks. Otherwise, it felt like, yeah, next year's locked in, we got it. And then when he said that, I was like, oh, question mark.
Well, he also said he's already having to recruit his roster he has now, which is, I know it happens, but when you're already publicly stating it, who knows what that really means behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, the overall press conference had a vibe that was not comfortable. Not a bit.
I would have been happy if we didn't play again the rest of the year after this past weekend. I was fine not watching.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I did get so frustrated with the LSU Bama game that I turned it off at halftime. Like that was.
Yeah,
I turned on the basketball game and never went back.
Yeah. My frustration.
I was gonna have to watch both of them.
And I kept getting notifications from Bleacher Report like, "Oh, Jalen Milroe, 40-yard touchdown."
Yeah.
He went off.
LSU's defensive coordinator should be fired.
Yeah, I know. That was not a hard thing to plan for. But, was it Rizzo that said that they've had problems with running quarterbacks all year? I don't know. Somebody said it.
Well, no. So the second half of the A&M game was when they brought Marcel Reed in.
Yeah.
And he blistered them. And then they had a week off. You had 2 weeks to prepare for Jalen Milroe. And this is the performance you showed up with.
Yeah,
there was a play in the first half that a linebacker at the 10-yard line ran out to the flat to cover a wide receiver, and Milroe was literally running right at him.
Yes, 100. I saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he had like you say, 2 weeks to plan on. You're going to see a running quarterback who is struggling to throw, and you came up with let him run
Yeah,
a lot.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they didn't even spy him.
Well, they saw him.
It was like they put in a backup quarterback, and they were like, "Wait a minute, this guy runs.
Yeah.
We're not prepared."
Yeah, and when he would, once he got through into the secondary, that was it. It was
Yep.
Yeah, he was gone.
on so. But once I saw the guy's elbow down and the ball didn't cross the line and they called it a touchdown, I was like, no, done with this.
Yeah, I quit watching.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching basketball. Football was over for me at that point.
Yep.
All right, so then we had
Joey Freshwater versus Larry, the Dr. Pepper guy.
3, 2, 1, fight.
and I believe every single one of us said Georgia was going to beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, we all did.
We all picked him.
And
We also all said that LSU was gonna destroy Bama.
yeah,
Yep.
man, this one was crazy. And Carson Beck is just getting worse. And then I didn't know if anybody else saw it, but then I heard somebody say it on the radio today that there was a time where he had thrown, I don't even know how many interceptions already, and he's sitting on the sideline laughing and joking with somebody. Wolf.
Yeah.
It was a bad look.
I think he had 11 interceptions before that game on Saturday, I think.
Yeah, he had 11 going in.
Yeah.
They are trending down. And then for Lane to just put it on them like that, mercy. Did you see the thing that everybody's up in arms about? There was this one kid, Pope, that transferred from Bama that was almost.
Yeah, he was celebrating on the field.
Yeah.
It was like his high school teammates or something. Like there's a story behind it. I mean, it's not. You still don't do it, but it's a horrible look. But there's a story behind it.
Well, you don't do it, but Kirby's like, yeah, he's an idiot. That was dumb.
Yeah, Kirby doesn't do that either, though, man.
I'm like, how many? But your program has got so many bigger issues that you've reacted week or two in a press conference, like the 25 arrests over the past 2 years. And he got hot about that kid for about 10 seconds, and he said he wasn't going to talk about it. But I was surprised that. I mean, that game just went all wrong. That was incredible. I thought, I don't know, man. Like we talked about Carson Beck not being good because he's lost his receivers, but bro, like he's trending.
His receivers, though, his receivers are very bad on that team. Like there was a stat, and I don't know the number, but they're like top of the conference in drop passes.
Yeah, most drop passes. You're right.
And I'm not saying that it's not Carson Beck because some of his throws are pretty bad and decisions are pretty bad, but it's like they said in the first half of that game, it's almost like those guys drop one and then you can see their confidence just completely go down the toilet.
Who's that remind you of last year?
But what's crazy is they're not running the ball.
No.
Like that's what Georgia's always been is a lineup, hit you in the mouth, play action, then throw it. Now they're not even running the ball.
No, and it's like Kirby is just it looks just like kind of what we're dealing with, where you're like, hey, change the plan. It's not working, change the plan. But
right.
I don't but then you got Mike Bobo, who's never been good at changing the plans either.
That ETN kid's good, man. You got to feed that guy.
Oh my God, he's good. Yeah, he's really good.
So talented, man.
Yeah. See, Money, any thoughts on the Georgia game before we go to the?
Y'all talking about the receivers? That just kind of clicked about the Bama interception when he threw that in the front corner of the end zone on the last throw. He threw that jump ball straight to the DB.
Yeah.
I think he's just used to having McConkey and Bowers he can just chuck up balls to and then come down with them.
Yeah.
And he can't do that this year. He has to wait for the receivers to get open. Not saying the receivers can get open, but
that and then the offensive line it's porous. So he's just running for his life and freaking out. But
it's definitely like he's lost confidence because he definitely doesn't look the same back there.
No, but it really looked weird when he was on the sideline, like super chilled out, though. It was a crazy look. They zoom in on him, and he's just joking around.
Glad he's not getting just creamed out there on the field.
Yeah, he's got a break. But Indiana Michigan game was a surprise to me because they beat the brakes off of them. So Indiana may be for real, and they're coming in Ohio State this weekend for a reckoning to figure out who's real out of those two. That's going to be. I know it's Big Ten, which was weird this weekend. Did y'all watch the CBS game with Gary Daniels doing a Big Ten game?
I turned it on when I got home when you texted me about it, and the first thing I thought of was, it's weird to hear that.
It was so weird. None of it fit. It didn't feel like the wrong pieces. But
I think the whole country is going to be cheering for Indiana this weekend, though.
Yeah, big time. Kidding, that's crazy. And then there's this chatter about how many teams are going to finish 10-2. Can you benefit from not playing in your conference game if you're an SEC team? If you're Georgia and you don't get into the conference game, do you benefit by not going in there and maybe taking a third loss? There was somebody on this morning that completely lost his mind, and it was hilarious, talking about how stupid an idea that is. But there's some big names that are saying that the number 5 spot in the top 25, top 12 is the prize. I don't know. You play one less game, but that also means you don't get any of the home games or the byes, I believe. But wait, you do get a home game, though, don't you?
I was going to say, wouldn't number 5 get a home game?
Yeah, number 5 gets home game.
Yeah, 5 and 6, I think, get home games, or 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know.
You play one less game, but then if you win your conference championship.
I think it's a benefit not to play in the SEC championship or your conference championship if you're like, I mean, I'll say the SEC, like if you're in the Big 12, like you're not going to get in. It doesn't matter who you are. Big 10, there's a possibility. You know, if you have Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, I mean, that's 4 legit teams record-wise. If Indiana, let's say Indiana loses to Ohio State, they got 1 loss at the end of the season. They don't play in the Big 12 or Big 10 championship. I mean, that's a resume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and then the whole thing being a secret formula, too, is a whole problem in itself because they're still not going to tell you exactly what they use to figure out the who's and what's and the insides and outs of it. So
right.
If you don't know that, then how are you even supposed to I don't understand.
You're going to have the same problem this year that you've had every other year. You're going to have
13 is going to want to be the number. Yeah.
You're going to have a bunch of upset fan bases.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's just frustrating that I want it to be a clear cut. Like they said, okay, look, don't look at the brackets. They don't matter yet. Here's the brackets. And it's just weird. And then there's no rhyme or reason. It's the same thing like you're saying. The same thing as like when the BCS was putting out stuff and they're using formulas that nobody understood. It's strange. But C Money, Colorado, real or fake?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a hard one. They lost to Kansas State earlier in the season.
But right now,
Kansas State is not a top 12 football team, but right now they are heating up at the right time.
Controlling their own destiny. Anybody else, real or fake?
They're going to win out the season. I mean, they've got teams. The best team they play has 4 wins in the next 3 weeks, and they've got BYU in the conference championship, assuming they don't lose.
I think you have to say they're real because at the beginning of the season, nobody thought they'd be in this situation.
That's a good point.
They have proven everyone outside of Boulder wrong because everybody, coming off of what were they 4-6, 4-7 last year. He redid the roster, transfers. Everybody said, "Oh, it's never going to work," and he has gone out and won. And like you said, he controls your own destiny. They take care of business from here on out. They're a top 4 team.
Yeah, it kind of snuck up on everybody. I think like 2 weeks ago, they were like, hold on. If they win this next game, then they could be good to go. That came out of almost nowhere. I think everybody was not paying attention to that. So
I think they're real, but I don't think they're on the elite level of teams. Like I don't foresee them going if they make the playoffs. I don't foresee them going too far in it.
No, I agree with that. I don't think they can compete with the Texases and the Georgias and the people like that. But
yeah,
for their conference,
and for the turnaround that they had,
yeah,
true that.
I would enjoy if we had a turnaround like that next season. Don't see it, but you never know.
Oh man. I don't even know what I would say about next season. I meant to look. Somebody the other day tweeted out something, and it didn't get legs like I thought it was going to. The TCU quarterback was going to go into the portal. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll look at it while we're talking.
Q even said something today about one of his friends. That's a coach. Said something about he had a player that's headed this way or wants to come this way. That was just vague, and he's like, it just it's tough on friendships. I'm just like, if it's not a quarterback, I don't really care.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no kidding.
Another wide receiver.
No, we don't need that.
No.
We got to keep the ones we got. That's going to be the biggest recruiting job he can do.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Wish I knew what the what the salary cap was for what we were bringing in and what else we can afford to bring in. That's so unofficial that you don't even know. You're like, maybe we could afford this guy, but who decides that? That's crazy. I did see when I started looking up, just because we were talking earlier about the number of arrests that Georgia players have had. See money now, and they have paid penalties to the NIL collective for those arrests, like fines.
The players or the
players is what the article said, that the Georgia players have paid fines like you would pay to the NFL, but they paid them to the collective. And I didn't know that was a thing.
That's actually a pretty decent idea.
Yeah.
You got to pay to play.
Here's your free car if you get in trouble with it.
It's going to cost you.
You have to make the payment that month.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Ole Miss has got to pay their fine for rushing the field. That was weird to me. I didn't think that was the rushing the field thing is getting old fast, man. They need to chill out with that. If you're in the top 25 and you beat, just.
Dude, it's like every weekend.
Dude,
it was the biggest home win in school history, probably.
Yeah, it was for them.
Since
at least,
they beat Bama with old the walkie-talkie dude. Bo Wallace was huge.
Yeah, let's see here. It says, here it is.
They've had 25 arrests since January of last year.
Yes, that is true.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here that is, which if you're looking at it on your phone, you probably can't read that. But yeah, that the Classic City Collective has fined the Georgia players when they break the law, which is part of the contract players enter into with the organization. So that's the thing.
Contract.
That's the thing that I did not know. Better read those contracts. No, I didn't know that existed. So that's something to be aware of. Anything else in college football before we go on to a better game, an actual ball?
I saw something a while ago that said, look at Texas's schedule. It's going to be the easiest schedule in the conference.
Yes.
Outside of the Georgia game, they have played nobody.
Yeah. And then that brings up Eli Drinkwitz after his quotes after the Oklahoma game. He shot back at the Stoops for a couple of things.
Bob
No, not Bob. What's his name? Oklahoma's coach.
Venables.
Yeah, no, my bad. Talking
Yeah.
about whether or not he was. He went on this long spiel about never being scared of teams, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to be scared of these teams, and then got beat by Missouri, so he made sure he brought it up in his press conference afterwards.
He likes to talk.
He does, man. I heard him compared to Lane Kiffin today. Yeah, they do have it easy, man. They're looks like they're going to cruise into the rest of the season.
I mean, what's their toughest game? A&M.
That's left, yeah.
Yeah. Arkansas, Kentucky, A&M. And A&M could be pretty beat up. by
Yeah,
them.
they peaked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But then if A&M beats Texas, they're in.
A&M's in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's go to
Pull up the SEC standings real quick.
do.
Because who would A&M play if they beat Texas? Georgia or Ole Miss? Who's second? Or who's first?
Let's see here. So we got right there. We got
All right.
Tennessee.
Texas
Tennessee.
A&M, Texas,
Yeah, right.
Georgia.
So Tennessee, Georgia this week is basically for the SEC. It could be for the SEC.
Well, and it's going to be a must-win for Georgia.
Well, the reason why they have Tennessee and A&M up there, though, is Texas has one less conference game that they've played so far. They've only played 5 conference games.
Yep.
But I mean, those top 4 teams all play each other over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So they're just going to eliminate themselves, and it's going to work itself out.
It might, but then if you end up with a second loss here and a second loss there and a second loss there, and they stay with it 2 losses, and then you end up.
But you can't have who A&M, like who's their second loss going to be to if they beat Texas? Because Texas, their schedule's so easy.
True. Yeah, you're right. That may be the deciding factor, because you could end up with a bunch of these. They end up with this weird 2-loss record, and then these tiebreakers, which I've heard people talk about. I don't know where you find them. But they are legit and long. They end up.
I mean, you could look at you could look at 7 teams with 2 losses if it plays out properly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
Actually, 8 if you count Missouri.
Yeah. So that's going to get weird by the time it's all over. If it ends up like that, like I said,
No, we don't have to worry about it.
We don't. No.
No stress on that end.
So we just want everybody else to figure it out first.
We can just create havoc if we're actually good, beat A&M and Bama.
Bro, that would be the season killer.
That'd be pretty nice to end the season that way.
Yes.
With Walker White.
And we get a bowl game.
Yeah.
Assuming we beat ULM.
Bowl game.
Yes.
All right. So basketball, the fight on the plane. One thing that pissed me off there was that whoever that Lion reporter was putting it on CBM and Johnny Broom, and just
The
running.
Caldwell brothers.
It was the Caldwell brothers and CBM.
Yeah, he was running with that thing like it was, and that's so dumb. But here's this. And I don't know if C-Money's seen this or not, but here's that zoom in of what they're saying was probably the preemptive part of that whole deal. So here we go.
Of being able to see great contest early. Step back 3. Highly contested by this Auburn team.
Quick trigger. Kelly off the dribble. Bang! All I can see him say is wow. Wow is right. Here's Kelly! Oh! From Opelika. Wow.
So, yeah. I'm sure that had something to do with the two freshmen fighting on the team or on the. If not, then his attitude in general is.
One of the guys wasn't a freshman. Turtle's a transfer in. He's a senior.
Yeah, he's a senior.
Oh dang! The one I read was two freshmen. So that one.
They're both
That
first year here.
The kid you just showed is a freshman. The other kid
Right.
was a senior.
Yeah, that's Jockey Howard. Yeah. Who was a phenom and whatnot. But I mean, how do you not have the self-awareness to realize that you're in the middle of a stadium and on TV and everybody can see exactly what you're doing? That's crazy.
It's not a good look, man.
Anybody?
No, I mean, it's, if that's his attitude on the court, you imagine he may have been a little bit of an issue off the court that kind of led to that. It was just all put there together, and then no telling what happened to create that issue on the plane, that somebody had to take it into their own hands. I appreciate the way Bruce handled it.
Yeah.
Leaving them behind, moving on.
Yeah.
He said today that they'd be in class, or he said Sunday that they'd be in class today, and they're going to handle it internally. And got to do something, man. You can't just let that fly.
No.
Not with the type of season that they could potentially have. The talent that they've got there.
Yeah, neither of these issues can be allowed to exist. I mean, that's crazy. That attitude on the court right there could be so detrimental to this team. That's awful.
Well, if he doesn't change his attitude on the court, Bruce ain't gonna let him see the court.
Yeah. And apparently,
nip that in the bud real quick.
Apparently, this guy's had some issues like that in high school. So I don't know. Like, how do you fix it? Does a good ass whooping fix it, or does Bruce sit him or?
I think
I think you put him at the end of the rotation, and he has to. Bruce is going to play 8 to 10 guys. He's always done it. He's always had a large rotation.
Yep.
You just make him. I think he probably was given a spot in the rotation based on his, recruiting. He was a highly coveted recruit, but I think you show him some tough love and make him earn his spot now. And if he don't, then you treat him like they treated a couple of these other higher, that ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years.
He's been, they've been doing like all the stuff they did at Tumors when they did that game and the dunks and everything that he was doing. All that stuff's got to stop. The celebration of all that craziness, because that's obviously making it worse for him. Celebrating that.
That's what that kid's known for. Is he is a flyer.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, his vertical was higher than anybody's that was at the NBA Combine. Like he's got like a 49-inch vert or something stupid.
Yeah. He had a windmill dunk in that game too.
Yes, he did.
Yep. But then I don't.
These days that kid, if he don't get what he wants, he'll pack up and leave, and I don't think that'll be a bad thing. I hate to say it because you want all the talent, but
at what cost?
Let him go to Alabama, where Oates will let him do that.
Yeah, exactly. We've already done one. You can have another one.
Yep.
Dude, speaking of that, Aiden was like 0 for 5, 6, or 0 for 7 or something tonight. Missed a layup, missed a bunch of threes.
I just saw that. The tweets right now on that are hilarious. The Clank tweet, that's cool, but that's kind of old.
But to talk about the game, because that was to go to Houston after that and to show out like they did, the team effort, that was spectacular. This team can do some things.
Yes.
We're already up to number 5.
Yes.
Yeah, number 1 in Ken Palm. Like that Houston team's no joke, man.
No, they're a defensive juggernaut every year.
Yeah, that's no joke. And to come in there in that second half and put it on them was pretty impressive. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yes.
There's a lot of talent on that team, man.
And if Tashad figures it out game in and game out, that kid he is the real deal.
Yeah, that's going to be dangerous, man.
Those step back threes and leaning in and popping back out, that was,
Yeah, that's everything we thought we had before. So hopefully he's for real.
Yeah.
And he's not hogging the ball.
No, he's making some dishes that whole game. And we
Yeah.
got Duke next week. We go to Cameron Indoor.
Another big game.
Yep.
Yeah, we were looking at their schedule for this year. Just every time you
So
look at
hard.
it, you're just like, my gosh.
Bruce did that on purpose.
I know.
Yeah, you're not going to go undefeated with that schedule, but you're going to get a lot of attention. You're building a resume for the postseason for sure.
Yeah, you are.
Also,
You're battle
but you're
testing.
also, yeah, you're battle tested. You're going to be able to show up. I mean, conference play is going to be brutal enough. So.
Yes. And then let's see the Purdue. I was looking up that Purdue and Birmingham.
Dude, after the game, I laughed so hard about Dylan Cardwell's when he went live.
Yes.
You put a bunch of dogs on a plane. What did you expect to happen?
I know.
Did you see the players doing the airplane on the court?
Yeah, dude. It was. Oh man,
it's so awesome. I mean, we made the Today Show on Saturday morning. That's literally like part of what they led the show off with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the tickets for the Purdue Birmingham game are going up fast, real fast. 85 for the cheap seats. And
when is that?
530 for the not cheap seats. That's 1221. 844. Good mercy.
Jesus. How much of the seats were reset last year at the championship versus Florida?
Let's see. There's two available right there. 212 a piece.
Youch.
Yeah, that's in the corner behind the goal. Oh, jeez. Yep. So those are jumping up.
Yeah.
I saw the tickets for home games. The only thing left is $35 standing room only for like every game, and that's only for like 3 games. Like you can go to the Kent State game on Wednesday for standing room only, and then the North Alabama game, but everything else is completely sold out.
If you're behind the bench on the bench side, pairs of tickets are $491 a piece, $589 a piece, $600 a piece, and that's like the last rows of the seating area. If you go down to the third row, $997 a piece.
Jesus.
That's on Ticketmaster. So I mean, of course, it's resale, but man,
and that's not even paying the fees.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, you're probably looking at $1,400 a piece with the fees put in.
Yeah. Yep. Man. I forgot, going back to football, Texas A&M's a nighttime game. And C-Money are sneaking down to that one.
Oh, that they already announced that it is a nighttime game for
Yeah,
us?
6:30.
Yeah, it's either 6:30 or 6:45.
Awesome, man.
Oh, man. Hype about that.
That's the first home night game. Well, hold on. Sneeze. That's like the first home night game since the New Mexico, that whole run of games in the beginning of the year. Since conference play started, we didn't get a night game.
No, so hype about that, even though we probably paid 4 times the ticket price for that. But the price of those things have got to have gone down because we talked about that. But yeah, so we have the rank of schedules for basketball. What is we have to have top.
Well, all your SEC schools are going to be in the top just because they play each other.
I know, and man, we've got like
We've
half the top 25 is SEC teams right now. It's insane how many teams we have in there right now. I hope it stays like that.
Yeah, because we got Duke, and then we got Iowa State. They're a top 10 team, and then we do the Maui thing. Maui's got like North Carolina, UConn, I think. I don't know who else out there.
So Auburn is rated number 2 hardest right now. Houston is number 3 hardest. They should probably have been. They probably should have been higher.
Dad,
Yeah.
how do I share my schedule? Or how do I share my screen? I'm gonna show you all the schedule.
There's
Present.
present and hit share screen. And then you got to add it up there.
Like that. Are y'all seeing it?
No.
No.
Okay.
I see your face.
Select a tab to share.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Select your tab. Now go back to your tab and come up.
Okay.
Then pop up.
It's not working.
Learning on the fly. All right. That's cool. Well, huh?
Share.
Oh, there you are. All right. So now you can go to the tab and you can actually control it on the tab.
All right. So we got Vermont, then we had Houston. We catch a break with Kent State and North Alabama. Then we have at Iowa State, at Duke, Richmond, at 21 Ohio State, break versus Georgia State, play Purdue, then Monmouth, Mizzou, Texas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Georgia, and then 11 Tennessee, unranked LSU, 25 Ole Miss, Oklahoma, 20 Florida, unranked Vandy, 2 Alabama, 16 Arkansas, Georgia, 25 Ole Miss, 19 Kentucky, 23 Texas A&M, 2 Alabama.
So the Auburn Alabama games are the 15th and the 8th. That's the 2 of this season.
The February 15th and the 8th of March.
Somebody today said, imagine if that's 1 versus 2.
Man,
that'd be crazy.
And also on that schedule, that's not including the Maui tournament.
The Maui.
I think one of those games is the first game, but whether you win or lose, the next game is. If you look it up, I don't know who all which game that is. I think it may be the Iowa State game.
Let's fill it up.
It is.
Here it is right here. Wait, what's happening?
You going to put it back up?
Time out. There's a whole website playing music in my ear. Holy crap.
That's like the last time when we were getting off and it kept like the Pix metal song was just jamming in my ear. I'm like, what is going on?
Man, that was brutal.
Make that bigger.
He's as big as he goes.
All right, and
click full screen.
Yeah, let's see. I can do this. That's as big as it's gonna get right now. That's what she said.
Got him.
See, so you got Memphis, UConn, Colorado, Michigan State, Auburn, Iowa State, Dayton, and North Carolina.
Yeah, so you got North Carolina, Michigan State, and UConn. And that's just the ones off the top of your head. You go, okay, those are good.
Yeah, those are recognizable. Yep. So, yep, that one's going to be another gauntlet to run through.
That'll be a good precursor to tournament play, though, when you have to play the next day and all that. So,
well, we'll need those guys back by then, to just keep our guys fresh, our legs fresh.
Yep. It's a long flight to Hawaii, though. No telling what's going to happen.
Lots of time for fights. Maybe we can get them some tranquilizers and just let them take a nap.
Take 2 planes.
Split them up.
Yeah, this was, let's see, where'd it go? There was such a good tweet about the Get Along shirt, and I cannot find it because it's gone. And she tweeted a lot since then. somebody had cut the heads out of the players and put them in. Have you ever seen the picture with the two kids wearing the one shirt called the Get Along shirt?
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was pretty funny.
That was really good. That was a
I
good
forget
one.
who did post that, but that was funny.
It was Heather. Heather posted that one. I can't find it, but it was funny. All
I
right.
think
Well,
the team answering the way they did and winning that game, like I said earlier, just shows how strong that team is, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, the core guys weren't affected by that.
yeah, and
noise.
you've got a lot of those guys have been there 3 years now, 4 years, and they bought in. It tells you something. Like I was so like for what you had said earlier, Matt, about saying it was the Caldwell brothers, and I was just like, dude, I just don't see Dylan fighting on a plane with a teammate.
I don't see anybody wanting to fight Dylan.
Dude, could you imagine? Like, it's like 6'10" on a little microplane.
He
Like,
can't even stand up.
dude, that's yeah. Like, I mean, what's he gonna do? Get on his knees?
Yeah,
that's
dude.
Probably why the pilot freaked out. I got this 7-foot black dude ready to fight back here.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's just, oh man. But yeah, the core guys. Yeah, there it is. That's funny, man. The core guys, they've bought into it. So
yeah,
I mean, that's what Johnny Broom came back for. That's what CBM came back for. They all came back for, obviously, there's probably some money in their pockets, but I mean, they came back for this.
Yeah. And to avenge that Yale loss.
Yes. Well, Yale is a distant memory at this point.
Oh, for sure.
We've taken the New Mexico State argument away because Bama fans can't say that anymore because they lost to Diego as well. So now we just need to finish off the Yale argument and take that out of their mouths too.
Supposedly they've got the score posted in the locker room all year.
Good.
How are you good?
So, constant reminder.
Good.
Right,
make some t-shirts.
Yeah.
Make them practice in the t-shirts.
Make them wear Yale.
I was gonna say make them wear Yale jerseys.
Yale jersey. You got to earn your jersey back.
But it would have to be the white kids at the end of the bench.
All right, so then we'll set up some picks for later this week. If y'all have any ideas that you want to do different for that, let me know. Because I mean, the picks are it's fun to talk about 5 games, but if there's something else y'all want to do, and then like Charlie, you talked about wanting to do some WWE talk or something too. I'm down for that 100% also. So
they're setting up Survivor Series, Bloodline versus Bloodline. We got Sammy back.
That's Sammy's back with who?
Roman and the Usos.
Oh, we came back to that one.
Last Friday, they all came back together.
Where's
they're the good guys.
Where is what's his name? Oh my god.
Cody?
The bald guy. What's his name? Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
He hadn't come back yet.
Oh, he hasn't.
Because he got powerbombed through the table and he's been on vacation.
That was such an awkward dude. Putting your face in Paul Heyman's crotch for that whole thing was just too much, man.
Yep.
Good Lord. That was one for
like
the
a 50-year-old.
No.
He's not supposed to be getting powerbombed.
An overweight one at that.
Yeah, if you compare my age to Paul Heyman's age one more time, it'd be like, he's 50. I'm like, that's 3 years from now.
Yeah, he's probably 65, 70.
Lord. Yeah, if y'all want to start doing some of that too, we can throw in some of that. So anything, man. Anything.
We'll throw some basketball picks in there.
Yeah, we can do that. I might be more of the producer side on that. I get behind on trying to read up when I start trying to do some of this other stuff, like throwing in the pictures and stuff. And then by the time I get done with it all, I'm like, dang, I didn't read about any of the games. So I'm down for it.
Well, if we're going to do the picks, we should probably keep up with them on the next podcast.
I know. This is all a learning experience. I know what you're saying because, like,
I thought about that too. I'm just like, we have some picks. I was like, I didn't get too many right this week, but
no, I
I don't think the others did either.
So, Dad, if you go back to look at it, or Barner, and instead of putting you on the App State Coastal game, you put Sharks icon.
Oh man.
Florida State fired their offensive staff today. By the
Oh
way,
yeah. Everybody's looking for the scapegoats, man.
after that debacle on Saturday night.
That's
Yep.
another thing that I thought about when he was talking about we've got 3 play callers.
He's like, one of y'all going down.
Just lining up a scapegoat.
Oh man, that would be.
The problem is, though, is like we said, they're all his buddies. He's not
I know.
firing him.
I know.
Hey man, business is business.
He couldn't get rid of Nix, I don't think.
No, he just took Nix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't think he could. I guess he could, but like you said, Austin's his buddy. He's been everywhere with him anyways.
Yep.
Oh man, so I screwed up the Texas Tech pick by myself.
I may have been the only one I got right.
Yeah, because Florida State did not stay within 26.5, did they?
No, it was like
52 to 3.
Yeah, that math is more than 26.5.
That don't math.
that math ain't mathing.
In my head, I was like, maybe it's a better football team.
Look at this, though. I mean, LSU, 4 people, Georgia, 4 people. We're definitely professional at picking games.
Other than those 2, I got everything right.
Well, there was only 6.
Yeah, you're a 500 hitter.
Hey, in baseball, all you got to do is do it right once every 3 times.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's looking back at what we did last week.
You can take that off screen now.
I looked at the schedule. The schedule this week does not look very appetizing.
Does it not?
I mean, I looked through it. You got the Indiana, Ohio State. I think that's this week. You got Georgia, Tennessee. And other than that, there's nothing that like jumps off the screen at you.
I mean, Arkansas, Texas, if you go with this, whatever the spread is, maybe. Clemson Pitt looked like it was going to be a good game weeks ago, but I don't know now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can throw some other stuff in there.
Unless they play like they did last week.
We can do WWE picks.
Start gambling on WWE.
Yeah. Oh, I guarantee you can.
Well, no, they announced last week they're not going to allow it. There was discussions about them like being on like FanDuel and stuff like that, and they said no, we're not going to allow that.
Well, that was noble.
Ohio State, Indiana's next week.
Insider training.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was gonna say, leak the script.
No kidding. All right, well, we'll figure out something for this week. We'll text about it.
Oh, we can find some games. I'm just saying, as far as like viewership, it's not going to be that there's nothing that you have to.
I know, but
Friday night, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, though.
That one, and so yes,
yeah,
that was. We were talking about that at dinner. Me and C Money went out to dinner, but I hope that Mike Tyson is taking this seriously enough that he doesn't make a fool out of himself. Because if he just is going in there to flop around and lose this thing to get paid, he's going to ruin his whole legacy, and it's ridiculous. And I actually hope that
watching that dude.
Huh?
I think his legacy was already ruined when he raped that woman.
Good point.
There should be an asterisk on everything I just said. You're right. Yeah.
You have a point.
That's true. But I hope
watching
that he
his training
gets
videos. Yeah, like watching his training videos, I don't think he's just going in there to. I don't
think he's going in there just to flip flop around. I think for one, if he goes in there and does that, Jake Paul will knock him out. Like he's very capable of it.
Yeah.
But I think he's going in there to fight. I just don't know if he, being 56, 57, whatever he is, if that thing goes more than 3-4 rounds,
Yeah.
he's gonna be gassed.
Yeah. I hope that he gets hit and it just turns on that old mic. Oh man, that would be the best.
That guy used to be so dangerous, man.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't get in the ring
see
with him
Mike
now.
Tyson knock out Jake Paul would be the greatest thing ever.
You know why he was so crazy and so good at fighting. Have you seen like what they would do? Like a few weeks ahead of time, they would take him off his medication, and then he was insane for the fight. He was actually crazy before they put him back on his medication. That's why he would say the things he would say in the press conference and was just like an animal because he was literally unmedicated.
I'm gonna eat your children.
Yeah.
And he said I broke my back. I broke my back.
I saw a clip of him the other day, and he was watching, and it may have been just staged, but he said, "You know the difference between me and Jake? He's a created killer. He's created by the media. He's created all this." He said, "I'm a natural born killer."
Yeah, and I agree.
He's taking it seriously.
I hope so. I hope this is when this farce ends. Because if you're going to be a boxer and get paid as much money as Jake Paul's getting paid, make him fight somebody for real. This is a disaster.
But this still isn't somebody for real, though. He's fighting a 60-year-old man.
Well, I'm just saying I hope this is the one that finally can correct this.
Right.
Like somebody for real. Why hasn't somebody for real stepped up and been like, okay, I will fight you?
Because he's just picking his fighters.
He's picking his fighters.
I know that.
He's not going up the ranks and trying to.
No.
There's got to be somebody that is up there that is for real. That's like.
That's sick of hearing about it.
That'll challenge him publicly and shut it down. This is crazy. And on the flip side, his brother is really good at WWE. Like stupid good. I'm actually a fan of his on the other side of this whole. And he's admittedly pretending to be an athlete. That's the difference. They're both pretending and only one of them's admitting it. That's the breaking news. I forgot about that. Good. That makes a good Friday. All right.
Yes, it does.
Well, Johnny Brooms put everybody on notice with the.
On this episode of Between Two Barns, we discuss team players, fights on a plane, and why footballs aren't even balls. Join Charlie Rizzle and.
All right. Good deal. So we'll catch everybody on the next one. Appreciate you guys.
Y'all have a good one, man.
See ya.